What's good? It's Woog. We are now at the 5-year mark since the release of Eminem's Machine Gun Kelly diss, Killshot. And I just wanted to take a quick retrospective, just kind of looking at what that diss record's legacy is at this point. Now, there was a lead up to the diss, like it didn't just come out of nowhere. It, sprang from MGK posting about Eminem's then underage daughter, Haley. I think she was 17 at the time MGK made his remark. But MGK was then suggesting that Eminem years later blocked him from going on or featuring on Shade 45, the Eminem-owned Sirius XM station. And this was an allegation that MGK repeated when he was like freestyling. I think it was on like the LA Leakers on Power 106 out here in LA. And so after that, Eminem released an album, Kamikaze. It was like an unannounced album it was like a surprise release. So on that album, Kamikaze, there was a song called Not Alike where he dissed like a few rappers, including MGK. And then like 2 days later, MGK responds to that diss with a diss of his own, and that was Rap Devil, which I thought was a pretty good diss. Like, I was like, damn, what's Em gonna say about this? Because it was one of those kind of narrative shifting or narrative shaping types of diss tracks where it's not so much like a bar for bar, just scathing type of diss, but it was more like a kind of situational but truthful narrative in terms of how MGK saw the situation, and also, just talking about how Eminem's beard was weird, which Eminem would then flip back on his retort, and talking about how Eminem's like style isn't as good as it was, and he needs to go back to how good he was on Recovery because his last few albums weren't good. So MGK was really laying into Eminem on this Rap Devil song. And again, the speed in which he was able to reply with Rap Devil kind of had a lot of the people saying, damn, what's Eminem gonna do? So then Eminem comes back with a song called Killshot, where he starts off kind of mocking MGK's disses, like saying your beard's weird, and just kind of like calling MGK a mumble rapper, saying, why are you yelling at the mic? Why are you yelling at the mic? But he was saying it in a way where his mouth was kind of mushy. And this was before he even starts rapping. This is just where the loop in the instrumental starts playing, and Eminem's just kind of clowning in the background before the verse actually starts. And once the verse starts, my God, in terms of how technically brilliant this diss was, to me, this was like an all-timer. Now, there have been great disses over the years, and there have been different styles of disses and different impacts that disses make. So from a technical standpoint, in terms of what's being said, this was about as good as it gets. I mean, from the stand reference where I wrote it on your starter cap to the say you got me in the scope, but you grazed me. I say one called the Interscope and you Swayze, or that with your corny line, Slim, you're old. Ow, Kelly, ooh, but I'm 45, but I'm still outselling you. Like, come on. And then he said, by 29, I had 3 albums that blew. Now let's talk about something I don't really do, go in someone's daughter's mouth stealing food, which MGK was accusing Eminem of doing by denying him opportunity. And then M says, but you're a fucking molehill. Now I'm gonna make a mountain out of you. Whoo! Ho, chill, acting like you put the gun barrel to my bone marrow gunner, but you ain't no bow and arrow. I mean, come on. Say you'll run up on me like a phone bill spraying lead, playing dead. That's the only time you hold still. Come on. So from a technical standpoint, this was ridiculous, and it goes on and on. Like, this thing is just madness. But in terms of impact, let's look at some of the historically significant disses. Like Tupac's Hit 'Em Up just has a dark cloud over it because it just symbolizes both he and Biggie dying at the height of the East Coast, West Coast, kind of the manufactured beef that was really between, Pac and how he interpreted certain events, and Biggie's alleged, at least according to Pac, Biggie and Bad Boy's alleged role in those. But when Hit 'Em Up dropped, the whole rap world was like, ooh, my God, that was vicious. So that was kind of the legacy of Hit 'Em Up. But again, it kind of has a dark cloud over it because of the aftermath in the wake of it. Take Ice Cube's No Vaseline, the NWA diss. That is an all-time classic diss. And then you've got disses that actually hurt careers, like, when Eminem was going at Benzino, that, kind of hurt Benzino's career. Or when 50 Cent just kept on going at Ja Rule. That, plus a lot of litigation in court cases for Murder Inc., that kind of bodied Ja Rule's career. I mean, there are certain disses and certain, attacks and rap wars that actually hurt somebody's business. And I think that 50 Cent and, G Unit and Shady Aftermath and the whole apparatus going at Murder Inc. actually hurt Murder Inc. and hurt Ja Rule's career. And I mean, look at Ether. When Nas clapped back at Jay-Z's Takeover, I liked the Takeover diss. I thought that was brilliant. But when Nas came back with Ether, I mean, Ether became a term that you use when you just eviscerate somebody. When you go at somebody and you just obliterate them, oh, you got ethered. Like, that became an actual term used in the lexicon. Or, you know, Cannabis's second round knockout. Well, that one's more or less looked at as being a sign of things to come, because that diss, when Cannabis dissed LL, would then backfire and ended up hurting Cannabis's career. So different disses have different types of impact. In that regard, I don't think for as technically brilliant and as great of a track as Killshot was, in terms of just how scathing the disses were and how hilarious some of those lines were, it didn't have the intended impact. Because if you look at Machine Gun Kelly's career, you could argue that he's never been hotter. Now, yes, he did kind of back off the hip hop genre. Like with MGK's last two albums, they were more like punk and pop punk. They were like pop rock albums. So he's kind of genre shifted, because the album that he had released right before Going at M, right before that whole beef, was Bloom. That was 2017. He had hit like number 8 on the charts. And then when he dropped that Rap Devil diss on M, he had included it on a new EP called Binge. Binge didn't do too well. It like topped out at like number 24. So it didn't look like it was giving his career a boost. And then he dropped a new album in 2019 called Hotel Diablo that peaked at like number 5. And then after that, he made the genre shift with Tickets to My Downfall that hit number 1, and then Mainstream Sellout that hit number 1. So with his last two albums, Tickets to My Downfall and Mainstream Sellout, again, you could argue that Machine Gun Kelly's music career has never been hotter. So it did not sink MGK's music career. I mean, it might have gotten people to take him less seriously as an MC. Like, I think that we all came away from that back and forth lyrically between the two. Like, yeah, Eminem is still as good as ever lyrically. Like, I think it was some magazine, or like Vulture or Guardian. I think it was Vulture that said that was like the best Eminem had sounded in like half a decade. I would say that was probably the best that he sounded since that Recovery album in like 2010. And again, the Killshot diss was in September of 2018, 5 years ago. So again, if we're talking about how great of a diss track Killshot was from a technical standpoint, it was brilliant. But from an impact standpoint, it didn't really rank up there like some of the other disses did, like when LL Cool J dissed Cool Mo D. Again, some of these disses had career-based impact. But it is worth a re-listen. If you haven't listened to it since around the time that it came out, go back and listen to it. To me, it's aged brilliantly. Like, the lyrics are as good as ever. Like when he said, "Younger me, no, you the whack me. It's funny but so true. I'd rather be 80-year-old me than 20-year-old you." And then that crazy lyrical part that ends up saying, "Got more fans than you in your own city, Lil Kitty, go play. Feel like I'm babysitting Lil Tay. Got the Diddy okay?" Because Diddy is Machine Gun Kelly's bad boy exec. Machine Gun Kelly's on Bad Boy still. So Eminem kind of looked at it like it was fair game to also kind of diss Diddy in the process, because Diddy's MGK's exec / boss, and he allowed for that diss to come out. And keep in mind, when that diss came out from MGK, Rap Devil, it was accompanied by a music video where he's out like in a graveyard with a shovel, like he's about to bury Eminem. And so Eminem says, after the part about "feels like I'm babysitting Lil Tay," he says, "Got the Diddy okay, so you spent your whole day shooting a video just to fucking dig your own grave. Got you at your own wake. I'm the Billy Goat. You ain't never made a list. Next to no Biggie, no Jay, next to Taylor Swift and that Iggy Ho. You about to really blow. Kelly, they'll be putting your name next to Ja, next to Benzino, die mother." Like the last mother saying alien vein, alien brain. Like, come on. So yeah, give that a re-listen. It was Eminem in top form. I mean, that he had a couple moments like The Ringer on Kamikaze, track 1, I believe. That was excellent as well. But yeah, just shortly after that, he released the Killshot song. And again, I just look at this as being one of the most technically brilliant diss tracks I've ever heard. No, it doesn't have the impact, the career harming impact that some other disses did, but man, this was Eminem just kind of solidifying his spot and just reminding everybody, like, when it comes to that grade A level elite MCing, it gets no better. Even in this, you know, post good albums, like we're like 20 years removed from when he was dropping the Marshall Mathers LP and the Slim Shady LP just before that, even the Eminem show. We are far removed from those days where an Eminem album carries that type of weight and significance, but he is still just on another planet when it comes to his lyricism. Even in his recent albums, like Music to Be Murdered By, like no other rapper is coming off that brilliant line by line. I mean, it's almost like he's just in another universe, to the point where the lyrics matter more than the actual music and the songs that he's making. So yeah, Eminem with that Killshot diss just reminded everybody of that. And I mean, that pretty much put an end to that little, you know, war of words between Eminem and Machine Gun Kelly. But to Machine Gun Kelly's credit, he has been able to persist, been able to ball out, you know, financially. He's been a bigger celebrity than ever. He's been kind of like, you know, in this bromance in recent years with like Pete Davidson. He's been with Megan Fox, you know, the actress Megan Fox. I mean, so MGK financially and, you know, music career wise, I mean, the guy's winning. So as great as a diss as Killshot was, it didn't do MGK in. It didn't do a number on him. I mean, he lyrically got bodied, but career-wise, again, he's as strong as ever. But yeah, let me know what you thought of that Eminem diss, Killshot, and were you impressed by MGK's diss, Rap Devil, prior to Killshot? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you love hip-hop like I do. I'm Woog. Thanks for tuning in.